The content, views, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and do not necessarily reflect the view and opinions of the City of Bremerton, BCAT, their officials, or their employees.
Hi, and welcome to Leadership Kitsap Alumni Spotlight, where both the host and the guest are alumni of our local 10-month leadership development course. This program shines a spotlight on just one of the several hundred graduates who have given countless hours of their time and effort to make things happen in Kitsap through leadership. I'm your host, Carli Meurs, class of 2017, best class ever. And joining me today is Robert Harris, class of 2025. Thank you for being here, Robert.
Well, thank you for the invitation. Happy to be here. I'm a graduate of class 2025, best class ever.
Mm-hmm. I see that you brought some swag to reinforce the idea.
Absolutely, got to represent.
Mm-hmm. I love it. The fun squad must have been your project team.
Yes, that was my project team. It was myself, Junie, Marin, Clara, and Odessa. We were the fun squad. We had a great team. We had a great project. It was great working with them and getting to, you always got those growing pains, to get things started. But, after we started working together and really to getting to know one another, things just kind of worked itself out and it just smoothed itself out. And, we were able to come together and develop a great project.
Oh, I love it. Well, I know you mentioned the storming and norming. What would you say was that key factor in getting from the storming to the norming? You said getting to know one another. Is there a key component that we can keep an eye out for next time we're in project teams?
I think it's just a learning curve, right? I mean, you're getting introduced to a group of individuals who you don't know, and it's just learning the different personalities, learning the individuals' strong suits, and being able to focus that for a team effort and achieve your goal. So I think just continuing to tell the individuals to communicate, and I think that was one of the issues we were kind of having. People made some assumptions, and just figuring out what your roles and responsibilities are, because everybody's got strong suits, right? And so I think every individual on the team had a strong suit that benefited the team to help us be successful.
I love it. So listen, ask questions with curiosity, avoid avoidance. I'm also hearing, because it's easy to say, that's kind of icky, I don't want to do it. But it sounds like once you step into asking and learning with intention.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the cohorts on my team was feeling left out at one point in time, and so I made sure I reached out to her and let her know that we wanted to have her be an equal partner in the team, be inclusive about everything that's going on. We're a team here, and there's no I in team, so we're all working together. So I just wanted to make sure and just affirm that for her. And so I think once I was able to do that, things just started kind of smoothing out for the team, and the bumps came into a nice smooth road, and we were able to keep moving forward.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I am also curious. Can you tell us a little bit about what your project was?
Our project was called the Kids Emergency Preparedness Training, or KEP for short. And so we identified in the communities that there is a gap in regards to teaching kids about how to react to different types of emergencies, just simple things from dialing 911, how to handle a fire emergency or an earthquake, etc. And so what we did was we developed this program, and we brought in several different emergency services teams to come in and teach kids how to handle various emergencies. I think it was a great program. We had a great turnout. We held it at the Marvin Williams Center down in downtown Bremerton, which is a cultural hub for the community. We had support from different fire departments, Washington State Patrol, and other emergency agencies that came in. I think it was a great event. It was held for about 4 hours roughly, and I think we had steady foot traffic the entire time with kids coming through there. And we had a lot of positive feedback from the community about the event. So I think it was just a great event.
Yeah, I also think it was a great event. What was that one of your first community events that you've held or been a part of hosting, or are you more familiar with that space?
I'm familiar with that space. I'm the president of the NAACP Bremerton branch. I've been president for about 5 years now. I was vice president prior to that. And so we host various events throughout the community. We've had hate crimes forums, resource fairs. We actually just had our big Freedom Fund banquet, which is our one and only fundraiser for the NAACP. So we hold events throughout the year, to help support the community. We also provide an AXO program, which is our Afrocentric Cultural, Technical, and Scientific Olympics for kids from grades 9 through 12 to come in and compete in different cultural aspects. Awesome. It's a 1-year program. My wife, Judge Tracy Flood, leads that. She's our chair for that event, and I thank her for her efforts to help make that successful. We've been able to, the last couple of years, take kids down to compete not only at the local level, but on the national stage, for the NAACP National Convention. So that's just been excellent. And, we're looking to continue to grow that program and, and continue to expand the outreach for the NAACP.
That's amazing. And a lot. And that isn't even your day job, is it?
No, the job that actually pays the bills. I work for the Washington State Department of Transportation as a construction oversight engineer. So I oversee their heavy civil construction projects. My primary project right now is the Federal Way Link Extension. And so that is an 8-mile extension project, an 8-mile link rail project that goes from Angle Lake Station down to Federal Way. But, I've worked for them for about 30 years now. I've worked on some of the largest construction projects in the world. I was once the lead engineer for the bored tunnel project, which at one point in time was the largest diameter bored tunnel project in the world. I oversaw what we call one of the East Link extensions, which is we titled E130. It's going to be the first floating bridge structure with trains on the bridge, and it's also one of the longest post-tension structures in the world.
In the world? Wow.
Yeah.
So is it the first floating bridge in Washington? Or
if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the first floating bridge structure that's going to have rail system on it.
Oh, Whoa. This is global stuff. How crazy is that? What's it feel like to be a part of something like that?
It's great to be part of history when you go back and look at all the infrastructures you've been able to build or help build here within Washington State and say, hey, I was a part of that. I was one of the lead engineers for that particular project. And to see that those projects are now coming from dreams to reality, it's excellent.
That's awesome. And I hope they get you to sign your name on it somewhere so you can get back there.
So I've got my name etched in some of those concrete blocks that are out there in some of the structures. So don't tell anybody, though.
I won't. That is so cool. So I want to go back to your work with the NAACP, though. You mentioned a lot of really cool programs that, very briefly. For the one with the young people, you said that's a year-long program. Is that, what time of year do you recruit people to be a part of it?
Actually, notices are going to be going out pretty soon. We generally start in January each year. And we'll get those notices out to say, hey, we are now accepting students. Students will come in. We'll help them figure out what type of project they want to work on and just continue to mentor them throughout the process.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about it, how do they find that? How do they come to you? Is it an email?
So information is going to be on our website. It's also on our Facebook page. We're going to be sending out information to some of the schools, then asked if students are interested in being part of the NAACP's AXO program. And so we just kind of put out a wide net and see what type of interest we get. I think we already have some students that are going to be returning to work on different projects for the 2025-2026 season.
That's awesome. So you can do it as a few years in a row or all of the years if you want?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, we're here to empower young folks. And, we want to make sure that, we have some individuals to pass the torch to, right? So we got to make sure that we are empowering our young people to come in and express themselves naturally. So that's what we want to keep doing.
Awesome. And then your unit is downtown Bremerton, or is it bigger than that?
So our unit is NAACP Bremerton, Unit 1134, and we represent Jefferson, Mason, and Kitsap counties. Our main office is in downtown Bremerton at 245 4th Street in Bremerton, Washington, Suite 201. We're right in the heart of Quincy Square. So we thought it important for us to have an office right there in this new cultural hub that has been developed.
Yeah, that's amazing. And perfect placement. I kind of thought that your office was there for a long time before Quincy Square was even a thing, but was this more intentional?
Well, we knew Quincy Square was coming, but, and we thought that, just being in that location was a good central location for that office. And so, with Quincy Square being developed, things just kind of worked out, so.
That's perfect. Mm-hmm. I like it when that happens.
Me too.
We talked earlier off screen about a concept called community unity. Mm-hmm. And I think this, as we're starting to talk about the Quincy Square project in general, it feels like this is the time to bring up that concept. Can you tell us about that? What is it?
Well, my hope is to build better collaboration across different community memberships that we have here in, not only in Kitsap County, but, Jefferson and Mason County. From what I've seen as, being president and being part of the community, we're often siloed, mm-hmm. as communities. So my hope is to start working better with those communities, to bring them get everybody kind of working towards some similar goals. Versus what we see now with a lot of different communities. Everybody's kind of got their own tangent. But I think we'd be better focused if we could get individuals and communities to start working together. Maybe we decide, hey, we're going to work on, here's their 10 pressing issues for the community. And here's our top 5 that we want to present to our government officials that we want to address for the community. And not just for, say the NAACP or Organization X that's over here. Mm-hmm. I think we'll get better traction working that way versus, different organizations and, asking for different things. Because I think you give our government an out, right? They'll say, well, I don't know what to do because, everybody's asking for something different and I don't want to upset, mm-hmm. Organization A, but Organization B is asking for something totally different. So my hope is to build a collaborative team, with these different organizations and different cultural backgrounds that we see in the communities here, and hopefully start putting those things on the table that we can hopefully get the government to start addressing some of those community needs that we're looking at.
Yeah, it's amazing. So together with all the groups involved, you'd come up with those top 5, top 10.
Yeah. I mean,
really cool.
Together we are stronger. I mean, that's just reality. Separated, we're not as powerful. But if we can come together as one cohesive unit, and putting these things on the table and say, hey, here's what we would like to see for the community, mm-hmm. Not just for our community, but for the community. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. I would have to agree with that. I'm all about that. Is there any organization or people that you're working with right now on this concept, or how brand new is it?
We've been working on it for a couple of years now, and just been talking verbally with different organizations, like the different churches in the area. Doc Loves the Kids, another organization that we've talked to. And so we're just going to continue to try to build that coalition. So we just had my executive committee meeting last night, and that was one of the topics we talked about is how we're going to put this plan into action. Mm-hmm. And so it's still in developmental stages, but we're just having those initial conversations to kind of prep people for what's coming. And so hopefully we'll be able to get people to have those conversations, sit down, and then get on board with what we're talking about.
That's awesome. Yeah, like starting the conversation sometimes is the hardest part, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you got to have that initial conversation, so you're not just just blindsiding somebody with this. I want to have that initial conversation, get you comfortable, so we can sit down and talk about what are the community needs, what are your needs, for your organization or for your particular community, and how can we help foster that.
Yeah, and it sounds like it might be a great time to start jumping that concept into action because of the incoming FIFA World Cup fan zone right downtown Bremerton. We're going to have a lot going on and a lot of focus going all over the place because this is a new thing for our community. Have you thought about that integration at all?
I have to be honest and say not totally. I mean, I knew that the FIFA World Cup is coming, and I know that the Quincy Square is going to be a hub for that event. But what I'm hoping to do is again just kind of bringing our communities together to talk about what are the needs for the communities. What I'm got really focused on.
I like it. If somebody wants to join that conversation right now, what would they do?
They would just reach out to me. My email is available on the NAACP website, and that's www.naacpbremerton.org. Or you can email me directly at president@naacpbremerton.org, or just call the NAACP office, and that number is 360-271-1788.
Excellent. I'm also impressed that you have all of that just right in your head, ready to go. Okay, I do have to give a shout out. You mentioned your wife, Judge Tracy Flood, earlier, and I got to meet you because I knew her first.
Yes.
And let me just say, class of 2017, best class ever. So we go back a little ways.
Okay, I'm going to give you that one.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, there's two of us, so.
Yes.
You mentioned her because you were talking about a project that you two worked on together or an event.
Yeah, she is our AXO chair, which is
okay.
the event where we're talking about what the kids are come in and do different type of cultural programs. But she's kind of been a driving force behind me, actually getting involved with Leadership Kitsap and encouraging me to apply. And she was the former president for the NAACP as well. And she's worked in this community for 30 plus years, helping this community be a better place for everyone. She's helped a number of individuals get jobs. She's helped ensure Quincy Square, as a matter of fact. She's been a huge driving force behind Quincy Square and making sure that Quincy Square truly represents the cultural aspects of our Black and Brown community members that have contributed so much to this community, which is often overlooked, right? So she has really made sure that that area, which is now again like a cultural hub for us all, is really representative of our Black and Brown communities.
Excellent. I just love both of you so much, so I like to hear what you're working on all the time. I want to ask one last question, and because we mentioned it a couple of times, what is Quincy Square for those who don't know about that project, and what's the significance you mentioned?
So Quincy Square, again, is a cultural hub for the community. It is entitled after Quincy Jones, a musician who grew up here in Bremerton. I had no idea for a long time that Quincy Jones grew up here in Bremerton. And he's contributed so much to the cultural significance of the city of Bremerton. So Quincy Square was developed from that. It was a 10-year project, and now it has become moved from reality into, I should say, a dream into reality. Now that it's recently been opened. We recently did a sculpture reveal just recently with the Jones family to come down and see the sculpture of Quincy Jones and take a look at all of the beautiful artwork that's down there that tells the story of some of the historical significance of some of our Black and Brown and Indigenous community members that have contributed so much to the community.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's a great place. I mean, and I define it personally as a cultural hub. I think it's a great place. It's going to be a place where community members can come and enjoy music and food and just different events. I mean, we're going to be planning some events for 2026 to have down there as well as on behalf of the NAACP Bremerton office. So it's a great place.
There's lots to see, lots to do, lots to be.
Absolutely.
Bringing people together.
Bringing people together, and that's what it's all about, right? Getting people to work together and, being able to enjoy life and have a place where you can go and enjoy that. So
yeah,
it's an awesome place.
Yeah. So everybody come join us there.
Everybody come down and join us. Like I said, a cultural hub for the community. Come down and partake, enjoy, have a good time. Listen to some music when there's music out there. Mm-hmm. They just recently did, I think, a food truck takeover, I want to say. So there's going to be different events down there. So, and I think it's going to help the downtown Bremerton area grow as well, right?
Yep.
So it'll spread out a lot of different businesses, So I think it's great.
Fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we finish?
Yes, I'll say that, it was a marvelous experience being part of Leadership Kitsap 2025, best class ever. So, I had my, my reservations when I first started, but, once I got on board and really understood, what the program was about and being able to meet different people from different backgrounds and being able to work with them and, develop a project and, develop some real friendships with some of these individuals. It's been awesome. And, I try to stay in touch. We still have a text chain, with our Leadership Kitsap Fun Squad team.
Mm-hmm.
So we check in every now and then. We know we're friends on Facebook. Recently, one of them invited me to speak at one of their events. So it's been great. It's just an awesome event. I would definitely recommend it for anybody that really wants to understand what leadership is and how the mechanism of government works and how you can go through this program and learn more about how to move through that mechanism and understand these different leadership qualities. So it's a great program. And NAACP has been able to sponsor a couple of community members to come through the program as well.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Application season's coming up in January too.
Hey, if you're interested, reach out. So we really want to build community leaders, right? We want to build, get individuals engaged with these leadership opportunities that is going to help the community and continue to grow the community and move things into a positive, continue to move into that positive realm. So we're hoping to continue to do that.
Excellent. Well, Robert, thank you so much for joining me today. I have so many more questions, so I'll see you off camera for those, but I just love what you're doing with our community and for our community and just how warm and inviting you are. Keep me part of it.
Absolutely. You make it easy for me to come out and talk, and it's just a comfortable conversation. I would just say that the Leadership Kitsap, the leadership team for that organization has just been excellent. Ms. Carli Meurs here, she has just been an excellent person to work with, and others. So there's too many to name, but everybody's great. So if you are interested in becoming part of Leadership Kitsap, please reach out. It's a great organization.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. And thank you for joining us for this episode of Leadership Kitsap's Alumni Spotlight. If you want to become part of a vibrant team working to build a new and continuing source of fine leaders right here in Kitsap County, reach out to us online at leadershipkitsap.org, on Instagram and Facebook. For the Leadership Kitsap Alumni Spotlight, I'm Carli Meurs. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Mm-hmm.